Greg, thanks for joining PetX content channel.
You're welcome.
This channel is a free information for our followers to learn more about things related to pets. You've been a financial planner for many years, so you're also a pet lover yourself. And I come across knowing that you have Holly for 16 years, is it correct?
That's right, yeah. The very first day that I met Holly is the day that I met my wife. I didn't know she was going to be my wife, obviously, but I was looking at a place to rent. It's going back a long time ago. And my wife and her family were renting the place that I was inspecting whilst they were building a house. And after I'd inspected, I came out to leave, and there was Mel, my wife, and Holly, and she just jumped straight up on me. From the first moment that I saw her. And gorgeous little puppy. And I think the whole exchange with Mel and Holly was one of
you guys together.
Yeah, well, pretty much. We started seeing each other after that.
That's nice.
So Holly was, I guess, had been a big part of our lives. And so unfortunately Holly, she lived 16 years, but she died a few years ago.
You must have a lot of fond memories of Holly as well, yeah? What do you remember?
Definitely. Well, I used to run with her, so she'd come running. I live in Bayside, so she'd come down to Brighton Beach and run with me, 3 days a week. And she could run the entire distance of what I would run, 5 or 6 kilometres. So that was great. Good companion.
I noticed these days pets are becoming more like a family member for people. So in terms of your clients, do you noticing this trend as well?
What we find, Eric, is that I guess with an ageing population and with an older client base, particularly that pets have always had a place in the family home for at least 2/3 to 3/4 of our clients. But as people get older, particularly as they become single, if they lose a husband or a wife or a partner, that the pet becomes increasingly more valuable or more important in actually providing solace, companionship, and so forth. So I think that's certainly something that I guess we observe and discuss with our clients. No question.
Also, I think younger people these days tend to have kids like later, and so I think there's another area that the pets becoming like their kids.
Yeah, most definitely. I think that there's a lot of young couples that probably seriously consider their pets to be surrogate children.
But in terms of your experience, how many % of Australians actually have a will?
It's fair to say that a very significant percentage of the population don't have a will, and even for those that do. And often clients that come to see ourselves and other financial planners will have a will, but that will might be very old. It's in many cases put together before people get married, before they have children, and arguably before they even necessarily had their current pet. So it's quite common to have, I guess, where people have not really planned ahead with regards to their estate planning. So
in terms of the will, it's designed to, protect your family, look after, taking care of your loved ones, in case something happens to you, right? So now we see that pets are like family member.
Yeah.
So in terms of financial planning, what can you leave money to a pet? Can you leave properties to a pet?
So a pet is so there's I guess let me answer that in a couple of different ways. So a will must provide for a natural person, okay, and a trust, for example, must provide for a beneficiary that needs to be a natural person. So at this point in time, a pet is not defined as a natural person. So a pet can't spend money in their own right. However, you certainly can make provision to provide for those that you might trust, family, friends, certain organisations. And provide them with the financial wherewithal to be able to provide for your pet. So there's different ways to achieve it, but the first thing is to be able to know who would be the person or persons or organisation that you would want to care for your pet if you're not able to, whether that's because you've died or whether you've lost capacity. You don't have to necessarily have died to lose the ability to look after your pet. But the will would make direction to the executors those people that you nominate to distribute your wealth, to provide for your beneficiaries. And one of those beneficiaries may well be someone that only provides for your pet. So you can nominate an amount of money that might be passed to that person, or pass into a trust via your will, where the person actually is nominated as the trustee to administer the money for the benefit of the pet.
But it's just don't want pet owner to get caught out. Like if they do see pets as a family, like there's people don't have that awareness. They don't know what will happen to the pet when.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it should on a checklist for estate planning should be what happens to my pet, who's going to look after them, how are they going to be able to afford to look after them, and how am I going to make those monies available to them.
So do you have your clients starting to ask for this kind of service to set up trust to look after their pets, or asking what they do with their estate planning for their pets? Or
there's certainly more. The answer is yes. People are asking these questions more often than we've experienced ever before. I'm not aware of anyone that's really specialising in it, but there's no question that with the significant number of pets per household, ageing population, younger people taking pets at an earlier age, that this is a huge issue. And for pet welfare, which is probably the most important thing here, there needs to be a lot more, I guess, strategy and consideration.
You want to take responsibility of your life, like when you don't want to leave your loved ones with like stress that if you don't plan, and also your pet. If you don't look after it, it's become someone else has to deal with the problem. So
I think the other thing is that this should be part of a conversation that people should actually be talking to, rather than just nominating someone and saying, I think Eric will look after my dog when I've passed. Have a conversation about that, so that there is, that it's understood, that is agreed to. Because sometimes people nominate executors without ever letting people know that they've actually nominated them. So to nominate to look after another family member and a pet, that's a huge responsibility. So it should be discussed.
Especially when the pet has another 10-year lifespan. And
that's right.
Do you have any recommendations for people out there?
I think probably, this theme covers estate planning, so if people don't have a will, they should really start to think about having a will. And when you're thinking about what to provide in terms of how to deal with your house, superannuation, other assets, don't forget that your pet is a really important, it's not an asset per se, probably more important than an asset. It's a living creature, that providing for that is as important as actually thinking about your children. So don't leave them out. Make sure it's actually on the list. There are increasingly more websites and more information about this. And to do your homework.
I do recommend pet owners to contact professional financial planner like you guys to sort out and have the pets be part of the planning. Yeah,
most definitely. I think if people have an existing accountant or financial advisor, or if they put a will together, make sure they ask. If they're not happy with the answers they get, keep looking. Keep asking questions until you find someone that actually does understand or gets it. Not everybody gets this.
So thanks for sharing the story about Holly. So you've been like a big part of your family, growing up with your kids, watching your kids grow up as well. So believe that Holly is in a good place now.
Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.